Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. And the message reads like this. Hello my brother, how are you? Can you please post for me as anonymous? My brother, I have a story that I want to share with you. I am a married man. I was born on a farm and my father was from Malawi. According to the story that he told us was that he came to Zim at an early age and he then started working on the farms. When my father came to Zim, this was in the 1970s, and he started working in the suburbs for this other white man. So he went back to Malawi after he had found that job because he wanted some lucky charms. When he went back to Malawi, there was this other witch doctor, and that witch doctor is the one who used to give my father a lot of those lucky charms. This is what my father used to do. He would come to Zim, then he would work. After working for a couple of years, then he would return back to Malawi to his people. So when he was in Malawi, that was when he would go to that witch doctor who used to give him a lot of charms. These were the stories that my father used to tell us when we were growing up. My father told me that the other charms that he had is that he wanted to be a boxer, a professional boxer. So he got a lot of those charms from that same witch doctor. But in the end, it seemed as if my father failed to follow all the rules that he was supposed to follow. Then his lucky charms turned against him. The lucky charm that my father was given by that witch doctor was that people can be afraid of him, and that is what happened. When he got employed by that white farmer, he only worked with the other workers only for a few days in the fields. And after that, because the charms had worked on that white farmer, when that white man looked at my father, that is when he asked my father to come and work for him as the gardener. And when my father was now working as the second gardener, because of his juju that he had, there was this other older guy who had worked for that same man for many, many years. And my father, when he started working for that same white farmer, because he wanted to be loved alone, my father didn't want anyone else to be loved by his boss. So what my father did is that he then used his juju so that the white farmer can fire that other man whom my father had found him already working for their boss. And that is the level of control that my father had over that white farmer, because anything that he would ask from that man, then that farmer will do. What that farmer will do is that he would even let my father tell the other workers what he wanted them to do on that day. It was like my father was the second boss of that farm because of his juju. My father used to go to Malawi, but when he would go to Malawi, his relatives then noticed that whenever my father would visit them coming from Zim, then when he would return back to Zim, then one of his relatives will die. So the last time when my father traveled back to his people, our father told us that they had a very big fight, and ever since that day, my father never returned back to Malawi. My father really had a dream of becoming a professional boxer, and he got strengthened with extra powers, but in the end, all of his juju, they turned against him, and my father died. When my father passed away, he was buried on that farm. Then I went into the city so that I can look for any kind of a job that I could get. Then the rest of my siblings at that time, I truly did not even know where they had gone to, because we just lost contact with all of my siblings. Since we didn't have any relatives in Zim, we all went on our ways looking for better opportunities. We then lost contact with each other, but I managed recently to get in touch with my siblings via Facebook. When I got into touch with my siblings again, that is when I found out that the same problems that I was facing were the same challenges that my siblings were facing. Like for an example, my sister, she has a problem problem of giving birth to stillborn babies. The reason why I have contacted you, it is because of the things that happened to me and my wife. When I came here to South Africa, I found a job as a gardener. That is what happens to me. It's like I am only cursed to be a garden boy for the rest of my life, because I cannot become anything else than to be a garden boy in this life. I have tried to look for better opportunities. The only luck that I can get is if I am looking around for a job as a gardener. There, my brother, I have so much luck. One morning when me and my wife were preparing to go to work, that is when my wife saw that in our room there was a pile of money on the floor. Since we were already late for work, we then decided to hide the money in the wardrobe, and then we went to work. When it was 9 a.m., we returned back so that we can have breakfast. When we returned back to our rooms, we then opened the wardrobe, and instead of finding that pile of money, we saw that inside the wardrobe there were two big rats. When we opened the door to the wardrobe, those two big rats, they all ran away. So now both me and my wife, we are scared that these rats might be those goblins that used to belong to my father, because my father said that his lucky charm later became a rat. So I am afraid that these charms deceived me and my wife and became like a pile of money, which we then picked up and placed it inside the wardrobe. As for my wife, she was told by this other prophet at the church where we go to. My wife was given a prophecy that her death is just waiting for her by the corner if she doesn't divorce me, because that pastor said that I was cursed not to succeed in life, and if my wife sticks around me, in the end she is going to be killed by those goblins which belonged to my father when he was still alive. When my wife was given this prophecy at church, she said that she will stay with me until death do us apart. But now, whenever me and my wife have any kind of an argument in the house, I can see that she has changed her mind and she is afraid of being attacked spiritually. I don't want my wife to leave me. I am looking for any prophet that can help me free of charge. The reason why my wife is thinking of leaving me, she is saying that even the money that I am earning, it seems as if it is cursed money, because I cannot do anything with that money that I am earning. At the end of the day, if we try to sit down and do a budget, it seems as if there is something that is just stealing my money. Please help me. I am looking for any prophet that can help me free of charge. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received. Then I had to ask one of our admins to give us a translation.